Subtle results, still you, but with fewer lines. Botox Cosmetic, out of botulinum toxin A, is a prescription medicine used to temporarily make moderate to severe frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better in adults.
Effects of Botox Cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Don't receive Botox Cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow and eyelid drooping, and eyelid swelling. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Tell your doctor about medical history, muscle or nerve conditions including ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. For full safety information, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
See for yourself at BotoxCosmetic.com.
Attention Ditto Heads.
I do that same.
Attention Bo Scouts.
Goes by the pseudonym Bo Snerdley.
It's time for the Soul of Excellence.
He is a radio host here in New York.
The Rush Hour is on the air.
Rush.
Now here's James Golden.
Welcome, my friends, to the Already It's Friday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. This is the fastest hour in American media. So much to discuss, so little time. We will get to it shortly, but I had a story all prepared to go to the lead role in this show today, and then it got interrupted when I had a conversation with Jonas, a very quick conversation. I said, the Pope was outed. And he's, what? The Pope was outed? What? We gonna have a new Pope already? What happened? No, it wasn't outed that way. They didn't kick him out, but he was outed. And then the second question came. Please don't hold this to account. It's a question, and nothing against the new Pope, period. It's just a question. Does it have anything to do with children? I said, whoa, no. Well, wait a minute. Perhaps it does in a way, in an offhand way. Well, what is it? And I'm stunned that the world doesn't know. Okay, let me ask TJ, whose birthday it is today. Happy birthday, TJ. You're over 40 years old now. Get to work. Did you know that the Pope was outed?
No.
No. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about? No.
But I can guess.
You can guess. Then guess.
Does it have anything to do with children?
Does it have anything to do with children? No!
It's bad when that's the first guess.
I mean, why would you people automatically... Philip, did you know the Pope was outed?
Does it have anything to do with the stuff that they said he ignored?
Did they have anything to do with the stuff that he said he was ignored? I don't know. Let me see if Philip knows. Does Philip know that the Pope was outed?
Philip does not know that the Pope was outed.
He was outed, and nobody knows it. Okay, let me read you all this story. I am glad to be the fastest, most influential hour in American media. I'm glad to bring this to your attention, ladies and gentlemen. New Pope has Creole roots in New Orleans. Robert Francis Prevost, the Chicago-born cardinal selected Thursday as the new Pope, is descended from Creole people of color from New Orleans. The Pope's maternal grandparents, both of whom are described as black or mulatto in various historical records, lived in the city's 7th Ward, an area that is traditionally Catholic and a melting pot of people with African, Caribbean, and European roots. The grandparents, Joseph Martinez and Louis Baki, eventually moved to Chicago in the early 20th century and had a daughter, Mildred Martinez, the Pope's mama. The Pope's mother. I'm sorry. Can't help it. It's an ethnic story. The grandparents, we did that. The Pope's mother. That discovery means I'm trying to come up with some original fanfare so I don't get sued for copyright violations. That discovery means that Leo 14, as the Pope will be known, is not only breaking ground as the first U.S.-born pontiff, he comes from a family that reflects the many threads that make up the complicated and rich fabric of the American story. The Pope's background was unearthed Thursday by New Orleans genealogist Jerry C. Honora and confirmed to the New York Times by the Pope's older brother, John Prevost, 71, who lives in the Chicago suburbs. This discovery is just an additional reminder of how interwoven we are as Mackins. Mr. Honor said in a text message late Thursday, I hope it will highlight the long history of black Catholics, both free and enslaved, in this country, which include the Holy Father's family. It is unclear whether the new Pope has addressed his Creole ancestry in public, especially since we just found it and brought it up. And his brother said that the family did not identify as black. Oh, what a shocker there. The announcement of his election in Rome focused on his early life in Chicago and decades of service in Peru. Mr. Honora, who works at the historic New Orleans Collection, a museum in the French Quarter, began investigating the Pope's background because his French-sounding name. What we got here, let's go back and look at them roots. Find out where this boy come from. He quickly found connections to the South instead. His trail of evidence linking Leo to New Orleans includes the grandparents' marriage certificate from their 7th Ward wedding in 1887, a photo of the Martinez family grave marker in Chicago, an electronic birth record of Mildred Martinez that shows she was born in Chicago in 1912. The birth record lives Joseph Martinez and Louis Bacchiers as, I'm pronouncing that wrong, but I don't care. Y'all don't care either. You didn't even know if I didn't tell you. As Mildred's parents. The father's birthplace is listed as the Dominican Republic. The mother's New Orleans. Now, Mr. Honora found records from the 1900 census that listed Mr. Martinez as black, and his place of birth is Haiti, Hayti, Haiti. His occupation, a cigar maker. Mr. Martinez's details appear on the 6 lines, the page of the census that Mr. Honora shared with the New York Times. Both Joseph Norval Martinez and Louis Bacchier were people of color, no doubt about it. Ain't no doubt it. So there you have it. They outed him. Breaking news. And y'all haven't heard that. It took me to bring this little fact to you, huh?
Oh, yeah, that's breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news, huh? Mm-hmm.
You have the show.
That's why I have the show, and y'all don't. Yeah, well, so look here. We got a...
You take them.
We'll take them? we'll take them.
You had a pope before.
They never had a pope. Yes, there were some black popes before, I think. You're going to have to do an AI on that. Not in modern times, but I think way back when.
Check that out.
Back there in the days. I mean, there's been 200 and something popes. 262 popes. That's a lot of popes. And, I don't know whether, I don't want to speculate on this without any knowledge. Okay, now the breaking story, that was the story that took the place of the breaking story. Pope has been outed by the New York Times. Family doesn't identify as black, though. Just saying. I don't know why not, but just, I never discussed this in public either. The New York Times just lit it up on day one. Okay, the story that was going to be the lead story, my friends, remember yesterday we talked about Ras Baraka and the Democrat. Ras Baraka is a name, it should be a Marvel name for one of the villains or something. Ras Baraka. Mayor of New Jersey. Son of Imamu Baraka, whose real name before he changed it was Leroy Jones. He was poet. He was mover and shaker back in the day. I remember Leroy Jones. I remember Imamu Baraka when he changed his name, Baraka. Okay, he was an activist too, like son, like daddy. Mayor Baraka has been arrested, ladies and gentlemen. Alina Habba, former President Trump's lawyer, who now is in charge, law out there, announced that the mayor of Newark, New Jersey, has been arrested for interfering with ICE's deportation operation. The mayor of Newark, Ras Baraka, committed trespass and ignored multiple warnings from the Homeland Security investigations to remove himself from the ICE detention center in Newark, New Jersey this afternoon. The statement says he has willingly chosen to disregard the law that will not stand in this state. He has been taken into custody. No one is above the law. Now, it was a bunch of Democrats and Ras Baraka. No, there has never been a pope of black American descent in the history of popedom. I think this is, let me see who sent this to me. Yes, yes, Lady Benedict has researched it very quickly. No, there has never been a pope of black African descent in the history of the Catholic Church, and how dare you suggest it? No, she didn't say that. The papacy, which began in the 1st century with St. Peter, this sounds like some grok stuff to me, had seen 266 popes, all of whom have been European or Middle Eastern descent, primarily Italian, I'm sorry. With some regions like North Africa or Levant in antiquity. 3 popes, Victor, Metaldes, and Galasius, were born in Roman North Africa, likely in areas such as modern-day Tunisia or Libya, while some sources say they may have been Berber or Mesing descent. There's no definite evidence confirming they were black or sub-Saharan African ancestry. Well, so that answers that question. The New York Times really did out him. We got a first, y'all. And what'd you say? We'll take him. All right.
Even
we'll get back to
us.
the more. Yeah, will he take us? Now, what a question to ask. You got any kids? One thing. I'll stop the music for a moment. Just stop it right there. Pick it right back up in a minute. I read another news story about the Pope, and to the Countess of Conspiracy, there was a note in one of the about the Pope's shoes. He was not wearing the red sandals that usually go on. He was wearing black shoes. Apparently, that has meaning to a lot of people. he declined in his first mass to wear the red shoes. He wore black shoes. Resume the music. 2020, on this date, Little Richard passed away, age 87. With the likes of Chuck Berry, Elvis, he was one of the handful of U.S. acts that went out with blues, R&B, gospel, fused it all together, led to the evolution of rock and roll. 30 million records, including this one, Good Golly Miss Molly, Lucille, and Tutti Frutti. Coming back, James Golden, the Friday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This episode is brought to you by Principles. Ray Dalio, legendary investor and New York Times best-selling author, wants to pass along his understanding of how countries go broke, because he believes the U.S. budget and debt situation needs to be addressed. To give you that knowledge, he has put the draft of his book, How Countries Go Broke, The Big Cycle, online for free. It's available now at economicprinciples.org.
Impact confirmed. The Slayer has been activated.
Demonic threat level increasing.
Hold the line!
All the power of hell cowering before one man.
id Software presents Doom: The Dark Ages. Available May 15th on Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and PC. Pre-order now.
Rated M for mature.
Home means something different to everyone. But with Rocket Mortgage, home can mean even more. It can mean a college education, taming your high-interest debt, even a renovation. We've made it easier than ever to use your home equity. That home you worked so hard for, now it can work hard for you. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
5 immersive worlds, 1 amazing theme park. Get ready to explore the all-new Universal Epic Universe, featuring the wizarding world of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic, Super Nintendo World, How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk, and Dark Universe. Epic Universe opens May 22nd at Universal Orlando Resort. Our universe will never be the same. Tickets and packages on sale now at universalorlando.com.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, something unusual happened last night. Letitia James was speaking at an event. There are a lot of people on the stage with her. And the event was totally partisan, as you will hear. The crowd is just totally a pro-Letitia crowd. They opened up the floor for questions. And Letitia James had a question asked of her. This was the question.
My question is for Tush James. Will you apologize to President Trump for wasting millions of dollars and the state of New York for a witch trial? And how does it feel to know that you will be in prison for mortgage fraud?
They walked the guy out. They're getting him out of the room now. They're getting him out.
We want to thank him for coming. We respect all opinions. Everybody knows those allegations are baseless.
They're baseless.
They're discredited. And so we want to thank him.
Everybody
Our
knows
next
those,
speaker.
Everybody knows those allegations are baseless. Baseless. Why did she do that? I told you why she does it. She does it so she can sound like she's got the real civil rights thing going on. They're baseless. They're baseless allegations. Everybody knows those allegations are baseless. And I don't know why Donald Trump is coming after me. I just don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why. Trish James has some problems. And whoever that brave soul is who called out Tush, as he calls her, Tush James, in front of a highly partisan Democrat crowd, you, my friend, get the Profile of Courage Award. That took guts, and you displayed them, and you did it profoundly well, and for that we are all grateful. James Golden, Snerdley, it is the Already It's Friday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. Whatever you do, do not go away. Fastest hour in media history.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
That moment when you realize your skincare is actually working. That's Rodan & Fields, the #1 female dermatologist-founded skincare brand in the U.S. Designed by 2 dermatologists who don't just know women's skin, they know how to formulate for it. Rodan & Fields, love what you see. Tap the banner or visit rodanandfields.com/Spotify to get your exclusive welcome offer.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. 3 couples, 4 vacations, a lot to unpack. Watch The 4 Seasons, a new series starring comedy favorites Tina Fey, Steve Carell, Will Forte, Coleman Domingo, and more in a hilarious and heartfelt love letter to long-term relationships. Based on the original Alan Alda film. Watch The 4 Seasons, streaming now only on Netflix.
In golf, precision is everything, on and off the course. PGA of America chose advanced 5G solutions from T-Mobile for Business for smooth operations and seamless transactions. Together, we enhance ticketing and concessions for better fan experiences from gate to green. This is pro-level efficiency. This is PGA of America with T-Mobile for Business. Take your business further at T-Mobile.com/now.
Morning decisions. A creamy mocha frappuccino drink? A sweet vanilla? Maybe a smooth caramel or that white chocolate mocha. Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Start your day with bottled Starbucks Frappuccino drinks. Pick up a bottle near you wherever you buy your groceries.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
1964 was the year Louis Armstrong Satchmo was at #1 on the U.S. singles charts. With this one, at the time, it made him the oldest artist to hit #1. He was 62 years old. Louis' biggest selling single was on the Hot 100 for 22 weeks, the longest of any track of the year. The one, the only, Louis Armstrong, who lived most of his life in Corona, Queens. Just an amazing musician, songwriter, composer, artist, groundbreaking diplomat for America musically around the world. Dixieland influences all the way through. All right, we tracked it down. You know, Princess Diana does this really well. Like, you can ask Princess Diana how a word came into being, and she'll just rip it right off. Well, this word comes from this. That's the source of this. That came, blah, blah, blah. They have a whole name for that. Somethingology. I don't know the word. Anyway, it's whether they trace words. My friends, trace sounds. And so I've been wondering. Let's listen to the question that was put before Letitia James, at the Letitia James, this guy who deserves an award. Let's listen to it again.
My question is for Tush James.
Tush!
Will you apologize to President Trump for wasting millions of dollars and the state of New York for a witch trial? And how does it feel to know that you will be in prison for mortgage fraud?
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Get him out of here. Get him out now.
We want to thank him for coming. We respect all opinions. Everybody knows those allegations are baseless.
A baseless song. A baseless
and so we want to thank him.
That's what we wanted to hear, a baseless song. They're baseless song. I want to know where this started. Because it's been in civil rights. It's been, and I said, this has its start in music. I know it does. Because I didn't hear this before Brown. And then it was, Brown. I said, Brown started this. Brown started? Yeah, Brown started this. This is where it started. Huh? It's coming up, folks. It's right there. I got the feeling now. That's where it started.
It's going to end in a cold sweat, too.
Makes you go. In our. Yes. That's where it started. Right there. The feeling. I'm right. Right? What? That's right. And that's where it started. And it went from there all across the spectrum. To Letitia James, the charges are baseless. Nah. Baseless. Nah. I got the feeling. Yeah. All right. If you know people in Newark, and that's what I can track it all down. I remember where E came from. Michael Jackson, I can't do it because that would sound stupid trying to do that little high pitch bit that he used to do. You know where that started? Stevie started that. On the Intervisions record. He's doing Don't Worry About It, Don't You Worry About a Thing. At the end, he does this riff, and he does this little Next thing you know, Michael Jackson's like
That's where he got it from.
Go back and you listen to Don't You Worry About a Thing, listen to the In Vamp, and then listen to Michael Jackson start with the business.
Got you. I got to listen to it.
Go listen to it. See, I'm right. I can track this stuff down. I know. Yeah. I know. The thing. The baseless charges. If you know somebody in Newark, can you please just record this for them? You're on your phone or whatever, and you know people in Newark that are just like hardcore Democrats. Can you please, for the next minute or so, just record this? I want to talk about what happened in Newark today. Mayor Baraka committed trespass and ignored multiple warnings from Homeland Security and ICE, and they arrested him for trespassing. Now, why was all this stuff happening in Newark? And Mayor Baraka wasn't alone. There were three Democrats, members of Congress, Representative Bonnie Watson Coleman, Representative LaMonica McClare. You know where I came from, but you can't pronounce the woman's name right, can you? No. And Representative Rob Menendez Jr., all Democrats converged at ICE's Delaney Hall. These three Democrats stormed through the gates of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement detention facilities, demanding that they be allowed in to conduct an oversight visit. All of these are New Jersey Democrats. The prison, the detention center, holds alleged killers, MS-13 gang members, child rapists, among other criminal offenders. The lawmakers were outside with a group of protesters when the gates opened to allow an ICE bust-in. They then stormed the place, past security. We're at Delaney Hall, an ICE prison in Newark that opened without permission from the city and in violation of local ordinances. Representative Coleman wrote on X. We've heard stories of what it's like in other ICE prisons. We're exercising our oversight authority to see for ourselves. Now, number one, if this is a federal building or federal law trumps local law, so I don't even know what she's talking about. They don't need your permission to set up a federal detention center. Perhaps this congresswoman isn't, but that's not the point I want to make. Here's the point I would like to make, and this is why I ask those of you who have some hardcore Democrat friends in Newark, New Jersey, to please record this part, because I want to ask my peeps a question. Lily Bonnick, I'm trying to make connections, you see. I want to ask you this. How long have we suffered in Newark? How long have our people suffered in the Newark, New Jersey area with high crime rates, with dismal education prospects at schools that are severely underfunded? Not that the money's not there. The money just doesn't seem to make its way to the children. The money's been allocated, but somehow the money for decent schools never seems to make its way to the children of Newark. How long have the people of Newark suffered? How long has it been that we've seen entire generations of people taken up out of the streets in Newark, New Jersey, and tossed into the criminal justice system? How long, my friends, has it happened? How long has there been inequities in Newark, New Jersey, where it seems that generation after generation are consigned to poverty? How long has this been going on? How long? Why, it's been going on for generations. It's been going on back when Mayor Baraka's daddy was in Newark, New Jersey as an inspirational leader by the name of Leroy Jones, and then the transformed into Imamu Baraka. And I always liked Imamu Baraka. He was radical, but I still liked him anyway. Smart man. Very smart man. Leftist, but still a smart man. It's been going on as long as I have been alive that Newark, New Jersey has been in, I want to not be indelicate, my friends, but can we just be honest? It's been in the crapper for over 30 years. And in all of that 30, 40 years of decline in the city of Newark, have you ever seen any Democrats barging in to a detention center where black citizens of Newark or Hispanic citizens of Newark that are legal residents of the United States are being held and questioned their conditions? Have you ever seen any Democrats lined up to barge into the schools in Newark that are producing illiterate children and asked to do oversight of those schools? No. Have you ever seen them go to any jails and demand and stand outside, demand to be let in to see the conditions inside the jails where citizens of Newark are being held? No. Have you ever seen any of these people go to City Hall and demand to see oversight of why the laws of the city of Newark seem to be stacked against their residents, why there's no oversight of their quality of life, why high crime has been allowed to continue and to continue, where they are not safe, why neighborhoods look like garbage because nobody enforces the law and makes those neighborhoods conform so that people have a decent atmosphere to live. Have they ever done any oversight of that? No. But all of a sudden, you have 3 Democrats and the mayor of Newark, New Jersey, Mr. Baraka, Baraka, showing up at an ICE facility to do oversight of who? Of non-citizens of the United States who are being held there because allegedly they have committed crimes such as child rape, such as murder. and other heinous crimes. And all of a sudden, the Democrats show up and they want to see to make sure that alleged criminal, non-citizens of the United States are being treated with dignity. They say they deserve dignity. They deserve respect. They deserve proper treatment. And by damn it, these Democrats are going to show up and bust through and demand to see how the aliens are going to be treated. Meanwhile, after they leave the facility, they go back through your war-torn looking neighborhood and don't give a damn about how you, the American citizens in Newark, are living. They don't want to do any oversight into how come your schools fail, why your jails are overrun, why your kids are treated like they are nothing from the day they are born till the day that they die. Why is that?
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
PMS, pregnancy, menopause. Being a woman is a lot. Ollie supports you and yours with expert solutions for every age and life stage. They just launched 2 new products exclusively at Walmart. Period Hero combats bloat, mood swings, and more during PMS. And Balance Perimeno to support hormonal balance, mood, and metabolism during perimenopause. Grab yours at Ollie.com. Ollie! These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Support comes from ServiceNow. We're for people doing the creative work they actually want to do. That's why this ad was written and read by a real person and not AI. You know what people don't want to do? Boring, busy work. Now with AI agents built into the ServiceNow platform, you can automate millions of repetitive tasks in every corner of your business, IT, HR, and more, so your people can focus on the work that they want to do. That's putting AI agents to work for people. It's your turn. Visit ServiceNow.com.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Faraday presenta Ojos con Alergia y Picazón contra el jardinero. Y el ganador es Faraday Extra Fuerte. Para aliviar la picazón de los ojos por alergia, actúa más rápido y supera Claritin y Flonase aún a las 24 horas. Faraday, adelante.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was interviewed. She was asked about the economy, about interest rates, that sort of thing. It may just be me. I want to play it for you and see whether you can understand what her answer is. And if you can, perhaps one day you might explain it to me. Here's what it sounded like.
I want to ask you about inflation and interest rates and Fed Chair Powell, who recently said that the strong labor market made it appropriate for him to soon raise interest rates. I wonder what your take on that is.
Well, I think particularly when we have this conversation in the context of inflation as well, it's really not just labor, it's not just rising wages, but there's a lot of different dynamics that I think are contributing to the increase in prices, whether it's supply chain complications, yes, labor issues, but sometimes lack of labor, a lack of the ability to be able to work consistently in their jobs, which is also tied to pandemic controls. And also, there's a real distinction to be made between inflation and price gouging. And there's a lot of evidence that particularly industries with high concentrations, corporate concentrations, whether it's almost oligopoly level industries, a lot of these price increases are potentially due to just straight price gouging by corporations.
Are you concerned about inflation and higher interest rates and the impact on working people?
I mean, wherever prices are increasing and it's making it difficult for someone to be able to feed their family, that is always going to be a major point of concern, a primary point of concern. But the real key is making sure that we're diagnosing the causes correctly, because the danger here is that if we say we're helping working people too much and say that the cause of this is, it's because we provided too much assistance during the American Rescue Plan, stimulus checks were too generous, that is why we are dealing with the problems that we're dealing with now. What that's going to result in is a pullback in the assistance that some families need the most right now. And when we already talked about...
Okay, you have to stop. I can't do any more. We have to go. Please, somebody explain that to me one day. May God bless and protect each and every single one of you, your family, your loved ones. Love and gratitude, my friends, for your being here with me, allowing me to be with you. God willing, back in the morning at 7 a.m. for the Saturday Morning Vibe. Hope you're here. Until then, I bid you adieu. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. You can hear Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour weekdays at 4 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?